This is a Dragon Blazer production.
Coming soon to a podcast near you.
What's your name, Finn?
She's beautiful, isn't she? What do you think of her?
I think she's real pretty.
Anything else?
I think she's a snob.
But you love her. She'll only break your heart, it's a fact. Even though I warn you, even though I guarantee you that the girl will only hurt you terribly, you'll still pursue her.
How come all this time we see each other every week? You know, but we never did anything.
I'm here, aren't I?
Do you know where she is?
Stella's left for school abroad. She's gone. Didn't she say goodbye? The love of your life left you. Hey, stolen it.
I'm empowered by my client to make your dreams come true.
Any particular dream or just all of them?
One-man show.
In New York. I don't paint anymore.
Then you better get busy. What you do here is really up to you, isn't it?
And truly, I'm glad you're here.
I want to paint your portrait.
So do you want me sitting or standing?
Both. I mean, you know, whatever. What are you doing here?
Stella's wedding.
Walter asked me to marry him.
Ain't love grand?
What is it like not to feel anything?
We are who we are. People don't change.
I knew that little girl, and I saw the light in her eyes, and no matter what you say or do, that's still what I see.
20th Century Fox presents Ethan Hawke, Gwyneth Paltrow with Anne Bancroft and Robert De Niro.
I remember you when you were a good-hearted little kid. The one person who did a really pure and good thing for me.
In the story of a journey into the heart of a man.
Everything I've ever done has been for you. Anything that might be special in me is you.
Great Expectations.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Coming Soon to a Podcast Near You. My name is Stevie Pippins, or just Pip for short. And here is my son, the guy who just escaped prison, Xavier.
You're just going to say that on a podcast going out to the internet? You know, this thing's forever, right?
Escape.
Hey, I'm an escaped convict. I'm not. I have never been to prison.
You're kind of like an escaped convict with a heart of gold.
You're going to get me in trouble.
On this episode, we watched the Charles Dickens classic, Great Expectations.
For our second drama movie watch. Was it drama? Yeah, it was drama.
It was drama.
Yep.
I say classic loosely because I've never read the book, but apparently this movie took a lot of liberties and changes from the book. First off, in the book, the kid's name is Pip.
Yeah,
we should this it was Finn.
Oh yeah. Interesting to note. We watched the 1998 version. I think it was 98 or 96 or
98 version. I think that's the most popular version or most mainstream version.
Yeah,
the one
I watched, I believe, is like from the 70s or 80s or something like that.
I thought you read the book. I didn't think you watched it.
I read the book and I watched it. It was in school, but I did not watch this one. There's a lot of differences from that I definitely did not remember. That I definitely I got like flags going off, like knowing, okay, yeah, this is not the same one that I remember watching.
Yeah, well, I know the woman's name is Mrs. Havisham in the book and the original story, so they did a lot of differences, and they tried updating it. I'm pretty sure he didn't go to New York to be an artist. I looked up some of the stuff.
This one's more modernized.
That's the point.
It was modern.
It was meant.
It was
to be
modernized. It was modernized rather than like being like taking place in the past, like the other releases of it are. It's a pretty interesting thing. Like it's not.
Well, the book
like it's
was
not
written,
a remake.
The book was written in the 1800s, so it was.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Charles Dickens. Dickens, I'm pretty sure, was in the 1800s. You keep talking. I'll double check that.
Yeah. Yeah, I was like, this isn't really necessarily a remake. It's more like a retelling of the story.
Yeah, it's a modernization.
Yeah, it's definitely gives it in.
First off, if you look up Charles Dickens, the pictures they have of him are all like black and white, like something you'd see in the 1800s. He was born in 1812, and he died in 1870.
I mean black and white, but like do you mean like in painting format?
As in, so we had photographs in the 1800s, but they were very
I know that.
different. They were only came in black and white or what we consider vignette. But no, he died in 1870, so he wrote this within that time.
That means he passed at only 58. He was young.
Here's a quick trivia.
Which actually probably wasn't very young considering it was the 1800s, but yeah. Continue.
Here's a bit of trivia for you. What is Charles Dickens' most famous book?
Well, considering
it's not Great Expectations.
Considering the fact that you're asking the question to begin with, I'm guessing it's not Great Expectations. I don't know. I don't really know a lot about authors from like before 1900s.
Well, this is like a very famous story that you've seen on countless different movies. Does that help?
No.
No?
Absolutely not.
This very famous story is retold every December. And has versions with Disney, with Mickey Mouse, Bugs Bunny, recently with Ryan Reynolds.
Can you just answer the question?
A Christmas Story. Scrooge.
Scrooge?
Yep.
Oh.
That is also written by Charles Dickens. That's his most famous book.
I didn't know that.
And this book was published 1861, by the way.
Interesting. Very, very.
So it's a very old story. So therefore, yes, the settings were very modernized, considering none of those things we didn't have a lot of those things in the 1800s.
Really? So, what about using elephants to call our friends? No, wait, no, that's in Africa. My bad. I clearly do not know my stuff.
No. So, all right. So here's a quick synopsis. Great Expectations is about a young boy, the original novel Pip, and the movie Finn. They call him Finn, and he goes to.
Which reminds me, by the way, well, how would you say your first conception of the story would come from? Is it from South Park?
That is the first time I've heard anything about this story. South Park has given me the definitive story of Great Expectations, and from what I gathered, South Park was closer to the original than this movie.
Well, again, this is more of a retelling.
Yeah, I know.
That was a retelling in its own right, but like more with the story, but with
except for the end. The end's slightly different.
Oh yeah,
they don't
like
fight monkeys.
It's South Park. But it's South Park. What do you expect?
I know.
But yeah.
But, so yes, this is about a young boy named Finn in this movie who is an artist. And, he goes to, or with his uncle, or no, his sister's, so yeah, I guess kind of his uncle, his sister's boyfriend.
Yeah.
Joe.
I guess uncle-in-law, in a way.
Uncle-in-law, yeah. He goes to this rich old woman's house, who they call Miss Dinsmore instead of Miss Havisham, who is a broken down woman who was left at the altar, I believe. Somebody broke her heart. And now she
places a 9-year-old boy's hand on top of her boobs, because that's just what ladies are doing nowadays again. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's what he noticed.
And he meets a young lady, Estella. And he falls in love with a young lady named Estella.
And that is her name.
That is her name. That's one of the names they kept. And he essentially... Oh, I guess it is also important to know that he helped a criminal who escaped prison.
Yeah.
When he was young. So it's hard to describe all of this, but essentially... Estella leaves, and a lawyer randomly comes by and says, "Hey, we are going to pay for you to go to New York and become a rich and famous artist." He thinks it's Mrs. Dinsmore.
But it was actually the escaped convict.
It was the escaped convict who does die. And he all to kind of chase Estella, who has no heart.
Yep.
You can tell she kind of loves him, but she's doing things weird. I don't know. It's hard to describe this movie.
She was, screwed up intentionally, so she doesn't exactly know how to do things. She doesn't know how to love people.
Well, she was raised very odd.
Yeah, I don't. It's surprising to me that she even really knows how to pay taxes or anything like that. When like
she probably doesn't. She probably has the guy that she was dating do all that.
Yeah, it is kind of messed up.
Or her aunt, is that her aunt, Miss Dinsmore? Because that's not her mother, right?
I think it might be her aunt or her grandmother. I don't remember. I do think it's kind of messed up that Finn walked up to her, like, I don't know, on her engagement night, her night, and like, hey, care to dance? Right in front of her, now husband or fiance.
Yeah.
That was kind of messed up.
Kinda. Yeah, there was
just a little bit.
A lot of messed upness in this movie.
Yeah.
So, real quick, it starred Ethan Hawke as Finnegan Bell, and Gwyneth Paltrow, who played Estella. Did you recognize Gwyneth Paltrow?
I mentioned that she kind of reminds me of Mary Jane Watson. Please tell me.
You know what's funny is she is in the Marvel movies, but not Mary Jane.
Oh, come on. She looks exactly like her.
She's Pepper Potts.
Oh.
She's Iron Man's
I see it now.
Girlfriend, wife.
Okay, I see it now.
Yeah, that's Gwyneth Paltrow. And Robert De Niro plays the prisoner.
Huh.
Do you know who Robert De Niro is?
No.
He's been in a lot of things that you probably haven't seen, in fairness. Have you ever seen Meet the Parents or Meet the Fockers?
No, and I thought we were making this a kids for everyone rated podcast.
Fockers. Not that.
Well, fuck you too, Dad.
Oh my goodness. Anyways, he's a very, 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 very famous actor. So what did you think of Great Expectations?
I
The
think it was a
version
pretty
we watched.
I think it was a pretty interesting retelling of the story. I remember the original kind of pissing me off a little bit.
Really?
This one, just how entitled Pip was in a lot of ways, but like
Entitled?
Finn, I don't. Yeah, he definitely.
So you're gonna have to explain that because I've never read the book or seen the movie.
Well, here's also
The
a
original.
thing. I haven't watched it since I don't know, like my junior year. So that was what, like 3 years ago. So I don't.
Oh, yes.
So I remember the emotions I had for him, like being kind of pissed off at him for, being entitled basically with like with the money that he was getting, who he believed to be from Miss Hannigan.
Havisham is in the original book.
Havisham, yeah.
Yes.
But like was really from Mr. Escaped Convict non-douchebag. So he was.
So
I remember
lets the
him.
money go to his head.
Yeah, he lets the money kind of go to his head in a way. Like
I would like to say one thing about this movie. I didn't think he was that good of an artist. I don't know how you felt about his art, but I thought, sure, bodies, he looked pretty well. I thought his faces looked weird. What did you think? Did you think it was good art?
Well, as a experienced artist myself, yeah, it was kind of messy, especially like in the eye area. But like the nipples, dude, he really put some effort into the nipples.
Oh yeah, the body looks great. The body looked fine. It was the everything else, or the face. His face artwork did not look good, to me at least.
Well, to be fair, he didn't really practice a whole lot. He kind of just like impressed one person, kept on with that same style, and then continued drawing like that same style. And like only one person bought all of his artwork, and that
That's
person
true.
has had ties to him. So it kind of makes sense in a way.
So we're in agreement. He can't draw.
He's not very good, except for the boobs, I guess. Because
Like
that's
I
where
said,
the heart is. That's where the heart is, I guess.
That is where the heart is. That's technically true.
Freaking perfin. I don't know. Anyways,
I don't know, but
like
that's like one of the things I'm like, this guy is supposed to be this like really good artist that gets to go to New York and everything, but I'm like, why?
But again,
and I know that art is subjective. I know his art is subjective, but
again, he's not made out to be a really good artist. Everything that happens with the art makes sense in the context. Like people didn't buy his art.
Was he an artist in the original book? Do you remember?
I don't remember.
I wasn't sure on that.
I think so. I don't know. But like, it's very interesting to me that we watched two movies I've never watched before that are apparently like 90s blockbusters or something like that. That go off of like a really hot famous actor drawing another hot famous actor completely naked.
Mm-hmm.
I'm referring to the Titanic.
Oh, I was like, I'm trying to figure out what you're getting at. You're bringing it all the way back. Okay, yeah. You're right.
Yeah.
It was, I guess, I can see the similarities now that you bring it up. Yeah. But
I remember when the Titanic came out, or came down. That was bad.
You know what's
that was
funny?
In poor taste. What
is one of the things I read is that this didn't do very well in the box office because it came out at the same time as Titanic. And Titanic took all the viewers, and this didn't do much at all. But it is considered liked for the most part as a cult classic, I think. Something along those lines. But yeah, this came out at the same time. It came out in 97 along with Titanic. This one just didn't do as well as Titanic at all.
Right. Well, again, there's a few similarities, but like all in all, like even without like comparing one to another, it's still really good. Aside from that, let's go on with like the characters, unless you have more to say about the subject we were already on.
One thing I'm going to say is I wasn't too big on this movie.
Okay.
I was underwhelmed. It was weird.
Okay. On with like the characters, starting with our protagonist, Finn, or Pip. Yeah. In this movie, he's Finn. Let's look at the difference between like Finn and Pip. I mean, like to the viewers, clearly you don't know much about Pip aside from the South Park character, I guess.
Yeah, and you know that character was meant to be a parody of Pip from Great Expectations. So they named him Pip for that reason, and that's why they did a whole episode on Pip in the show. Is because he was a parody of Pip from Great Expectations.
Very interesting.
I don't know why Great Expectations is such a major role in Matt Stone and Trey Parker's life, the creators of South Park, but apparently it was. Because they named a whole character after that book.
Interesting.
Is it crazy to think that Matt Stone and Trey Parker, the creators of South Park, are pretty cultured?
Yeah, it's not. It's definitely not.
It's not?
What do you think about Finn, though?
He's not that good of an artist.
Is that all you have to say about him?
He's kind of a...
He's a simp. Is he a simp?
I think that's what people call that, yes.
Yeah, the kids nowadays refer to him as a simp.
A simp.
Yeah, like a Pip, but a simp.
A Pip, but a simp.
A Pip simp. Simp Pip. Simp Pip. It's a simp Pip. Alright.
He's not very good at learning how to accept defeat, because she's pretty cruel to him.
Right.
I mean, she has sex with him and then leaves him to go marry the guy. She's cruel to both of them. Go marry the other guy.
Care to dance?
It's clear she doesn't.
Sure, I just got married, but let me dance with this other guy.
It's clear that she probably loves him and doesn't give a crap about the other guy. No, she just... Which I think at least through the... I think at least through the movie or the book, I think they make it clear in the book that the Miss Haversham or whatever her name was in this, that she was essentially orchestrating all this, right?
Yeah.
At least that's how I understood it in the South Park version, is that she was essentially orchestrating all of this to, break his heart because her heart was broken.
Yeah, she's a misogynist, basically.
So
she's a sexist misogynist.
So Estella was just trying to do what her aunts
her guardian taught her.
Yes, she was just going by what her guardian taught her to do.
Yeah.
So I think she did actually love Finn, but she was not saying no to her guardian. That's what I gathered from the story. Does that sound correct based on your knowledge of the actual book?
Not sure. Again, this and the South Park episode are the first time I didn't even remember, I recognized a lot of the things from the South Park movie as Great Expectations, but I didn't even remember the name of the book that was like ringing alarm bells in my head while we were watching.
So you didn't know it was called Great Expectations?
I knew it was called Great Expectations. I just didn't remember because I hadn't watched it or read it in 3 years. So, but yeah, for something that you said was your least favorite South Park episode, it was, literally based on something else, and it was a hilarious retelling because there's monkeys, and it's just hilarious.
Hilarious being retelling because of monkeys. Monkey.
Yo, monkey.
I think that episode would be more entertaining to me, maybe even now that I've seen this movie. Had I had read the book or knew the story, I think I would have enjoyed the episode more. Like you did, because you had actually read, did you read the book and watch the movie, or just watch the movie?
Yes, I'm pretty sure I've said this like over 9 times.
Sorry, my bad. I forgot.
I mean, like at least once or twice within this podcast.
Yeah. But anyway, so as someone who is familiar with...
Stop manspreading. Continue.
Sorry. My bad. But,
we're in the middle of a podcast, Dad.
Comfortable. Anyways, so...
No one needs to see a 40-year-old man doing this in front of, like, however many people would be watching this. Anyways.
So, yeah, I can see myself enjoying that episode better had I actually had context and actually seen it. Or know of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of what I remember from the book is that, like, Pip is walking through, like, this, I don't know, graveyard or whatever, and then this criminal guy, or this sketchy-looking dude, sneaks up on him and is like, hey, can you... I will kill you unless you go home, and I know where you live, by the way, and unless you go home, get some, like, I don't know, lock-picking tips or, like, a crowbar or something. Pip does that, gets it to him, he breaks it open, and voila! The rest of the story continues. I remember, the sister is a lot more, I remember her being, like, a lot more, what's the word?
Bitchy?
Yeah, relatively, yeah, than in this movie.
Yeah, she didn't seem too bad in this movie until she just up and said, fuck this. Bye-bye.
Well, yeah, she was still pretty terrible because, like, she was like, bye, I'm just gonna abandon my technical parental responsibilities.
Yeah.
So, yeah, wait a minute, if she's his sister and she got married, that wouldn't mean, like, that the guy is, his uncle-in-law. That means that he's his brother-in-law. Right. The age difference kind of is irrelevant in that. But anyways, though, it's definitely Great Expectations. The premise of the movie remains the same. It's just like, it's more modernized. There's a lot more differences. the sexualness, the sexiness is definitely a lot more, I guess, pronounced than I remember. I mean, although to be fair, it was in school, so they probably were forced to skip certain parts if there was any. So,
I mean, I don't think you read it yourself, didn't you? Or I don't think they took pages out, did they?
Well, they didn't take pages. I'm referring to like the movie.
Oh.
The movie that I remember watching.
They didn't. Unless they paused or stopped it and fast forwarded, they didn't edit it. Those school is going to take the time.
Well, yeah, I'm referring to that. Like they fast forward it to a part where sex is not being.
We don't need to see this part. I got you.
Even though that we're probably like 17 or 16 at this point.
Still, it's kind of weird to show 17-year-olds sex at a school. I get it.
We literally have a sex ed class. I mean, not in junior year, but I did it in my sophomore year. I don't think they have sex ed class at the career center where we live, which is very interesting because I feel like that's a must, to keep people from getting AIDS.
Well, normally they'd have sex ed, like I think it's your freshman year or something, and they don't normally keep going with that throughout the years.
Well, true. Anyways, what I kind of thought about this movie, I thought it was pretty interesting. As I've said, it's an interesting retelling of the actual story. And I mean, aside from the monkeys, I think the South Park episode, it probably captures more of like the feel of the original. But like all of them are basically like the same story. They're all Great Expectations. All of it just, was of the same. And I feel like this was definitely a better idea than just, remaking the same movie, but with like, better technology, better editing technology that we had in the 90s.
Wait till you get the chance to watch the Romeo and Juliet from the 90s. They also tried to modernize
it.
Yeah. Did
people not like it?
Actually, I think it did okay. It did better than this, I think. But they the 90s version, like, you know how they mention pierce this dagger through my heart is true, all that stuff?
Yeah.
So in the modernized version, they have a gun, and on the gun it said dagger.
So it's more like a comedic retelling?
It's not meant to be. I don't think it's meant to be. It's like,
oh my goodness, that's even worse.
It's a very modernized version. I haven't watched it since I was a kid, but yeah, they try to make it more. It had Leonardo DiCaprio in it, the guy that you know from Titanic. And it's just a modernized version where they are. I'd like to watch it again, honestly.
We should also bring up like the other movies. Like we this was one of quite a few movies that we wanted to choose for the second drama that we wanted. Like the first drama was Prey. We chose Prey, which interesting choice for a drama, but I won't judge. I liked that movie.
It said it was on drama. Took advantage. This one's more of an actual drama. This is exactly what I think of when I think of a drama.
Which, it's a good thing that we got this for the second time, since we have a better drama
representation.
Drama. Yeah, a better representation in a way.
So, what is your grade for this movie?
We were. Are you just gonna skip the topic? Dude, I was just trying to say, like, I remember we wanted to watch Castaway for our drama, though. Like, I remember
you
Castaway.
talked about Castaway or Forrest Gump.
Also, Groundhog Day. I remember we also saw Groundhog Day, which...
it's more of a comedy, but
February.
I guess that also...
That was in the drama section. If we got Prey, we could get Groundhog Day, which rhymes.
You're right. That's a very, very fair argument.
That's a good point. Yeah, I remember if we saw Catch Me If You Can, which is another Leonardo DiCaprio movie. Leonardo DiCaprio movie that I kept referencing during the Titanic podcast that we made.
We're just gonna make this a Leonardo DiCaprio podcast where we just watch all Leonardo DiCaprio movies every chance.
Why don't we just make another category and say Leonardo DiCaprio and just make that another thing? Don't actually do that. I mean, yes, I love the crap out of Leonardo DiCaprio, but don't make another. Because if we do that, then we got to do, Bill Murray or Jim Carrey at the very least. And it just gets... There's just a lot of really good actors that we'd have to accommodate.
We could pick an actor. Like how we pick a director. I could totally pick an actor. Pick a famous actor, and we pick a movie based on that actor's library.
Right. Also, now that it's 2023, even sooner or later, we're gonna have to change. We're gonna have to add 2020s movies, even though that even though that we're in we're still in 2023, and the last 4 years still fits within the new movies category with top fives, or the last 5 years. I still think we should probably do a 2020s movie, in accordance to once 2025 hits, and that way movies from the year 2020 would be more uncommon. We found because of how the system would work. So I think we should add a 2020s movies category and a pick an actor movie.
I can do that.
Cool. Okay. As for my rating for this movie, okay. So, I mean, this would be pretty easy because as I've said, this movie knows what it wants to be. It wants to be a modernized version of a story that's already been told, and it does that pretty well. It's a modernized version of a story that's already been told. As for how entertaining it is, I mean, I remember the original pissing me off because of how entitled Pip was at a few points. But that was I don't know, 1 or 2 scenes. I'm not going to really judge based on that. But that also means this movie's going to be is forced to be compared with another movie because there was one made before it. There's probably multiple made before it.
There's probably I mean, this is a book that came out in the 1800s. They probably have retold this many times.
Right.
Hell, there's a Hulu show that's coming out.
Yeah, I was about to mention that. I noticed that this year they started making a TV show, which I wonder if it's going to be in a similar vein to a series of unfortunate events with them retelling that in TV show format. I don't know if I'll ever get to either one, but because they're hour-long shows, and I don't know if I choose to spend that much time on one thing without That's why I watch anime more than I do a lot of live-action shows, because anime is pretty commonly 20 minutes long.
Yeah, I like my hour-long shows.
Well, then we're very, very different then. I don't know. I'm fine. I like Lucifer and Monk, the movies the shows that we watch often. But if I want to watch something for an hour or longer, then I'd probably watch a movie. Moving on from that, I think I'll give this movie. I'll give it a 7. It's above a 5 because I find it, I think it knows what it wants to be, and it does pretty well. But aside from that, it's relatively bland. I mean, aside from the sexual parts, but like, if you're trying to fix blandness with sex and stuff like that, then there's a problem.
Sells.
I give it a 7. What do you give it?
5.
Still pretty decent.
I didn't think it was that good. I did accidentally spoil myself on the Rotten Tomatoes, so I can't join you on this. So
you gotta stop doing this, man.
I didn't mean to.
I can't believe you've done this.
As soon as I tried to search it, the first thing it showed me the name of the movie, and then it also showed me the Rotten Tomatoes right next to it. So I got spoiled. So go ahead and pick your guess.
Okay. For the not the audience, the critics, I'm gonna say 76, and audience 66. 76 and 66. What is it?
So I'm gonna give you the audience first.
Okay.
Audience is 77%. The critics, however, 39%.
Okay.
Critics do not like this movie.
Interesting. What are some of the reviews from the critics?
We find some negative ones because most of them are negative. Roger Ebert actually liked this. Where the film fails is in its commercial proclivity to center the narrative trajectory around a fairly asinine updating of the Pip Estella love match into a soppy romance. Tim Brayton says Korn and company end up throwing all the style they've got at the film to compensate for a perpetually stalled drama. Michael DeQuina says, in the end, shiny surfaces are just that, surfaces with nothing necessarily underneath. Carlo Cavagna says Charles Dickens' novel has been pared to the bone and set in the present day, and the result is a beautifully shot mess. The characters' motivations could not be any less clear. John R. McEwen says the film's execution is more of a tragedy than the story. Philip Martin says his film doesn't have anything to say, it just wants to make a fashion statement. Pretty people should get to do stuff other people don't get to do. So, yeah. Sounds like the critics are more on my side. I don't know, it was weird. I don't know, it could be, I might not like the actual book or story from Charles Dickens. I don't know. I've seen one with violent monkeys, and I've seen the violent monkeys one has Estella constantly breaking the necks of rabbits. So, no, I've never actually seen the original story of Great Expectations, and I don't think I care for the story. So do you have a cinemantra?
Alright. Okay, let's see. Okay. I don't know if I want to do that, because that's dark.
That's dark? Let's go dark.
Alright.
Do it.
Okay. If you were forced into an arranged marriage with a woman who breaks the necks of rabbits, how would you try to escape? If you would at all.
I would Well, I guess I should ask, where do these rabbits go after they die?
I mean, would you care?
I was going to say, if they send the rabbits away, the bodies, I would hide in the bodies of the dead rabbits and just disappear.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the soul. Like, I thought we were going to get into some religious stuff here.
No.
I don't know.
I was trying to escape.
Okay, I'll give you the same rating as I gave the movie, a 7. 7 out of 10. What? Okay. What's your cinemantra?
I was going to ask... The first thing that popped in my head, I kind of know the answer, so... Let's ask it anyways. If a random benefactor decided to send you away to get better at... or to get you rich at something, what would it be? I didn't think you would need to think about this. I figured it'd be the exact same thing.
It'd probably be art. I was trying to think of something more clever than that, but like, yeah, it's probably art. I really love drawing.
They give you a 10. You were that's the right answer.
I was trying to think of something clever.
I understand. That's the thing that made the most sense for this movie, but I know you well enough to know that would be the answer, so...
Yeah. I don't know why the first thing I thought of wasn't an artist and was instead, like,
yeah,
I don't know,
you actually had to think about it, yeah.
But, like, anyway.
It's gotta be art.
Yeah, it's gotta be art. I love drawing. Anyways,
Except for you're a better drawer than that guy.
Okay. Well, yeah, but like it's in the eye of the beholder, and in the said beholder.
Yes, art is subjective. Blah blah blah. I don't care. You're better.
Thank you.
Wasn't that good?
Anyway,
why do you sound like a 12-year-old anime girl now?
To be fair, if I wasn't an anime, I could probably come across as a 12-year-old anime girl. Do you know what? Have you seen some 14-year-old anime girls? They look like 23-year-olds.
Yes. That is how the Japanese draw, yeah.
Apparently they also have like G cups or something like that because like I don't know what the age of consent is there, but I don't think it's 14. Or I don't know, the legal age or whatever it is. And even
you
then,
might be surprised.
I probably won't be. And what I would be, though, is kind of just disappointed and think it's kind of messed up.
I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed in you, Japan. That's a bad Japan. Sorry, continue.
I don't know. Do you have anything else to say about this movie?
I have nothing to say about this movie.
Okay. Do you want to ask Siri, including the 2 that we just added, which I believe should be 50 at this point, or 51? What movie we'll be watching? We already watched Rogue One, but we're going to be recording that at some point later. But like, we're recording this first, and I'm going to see you in, like, I don't know, tomorrow. So might as well figure out what movie we're going to be watching next. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Let me add the 2 new categories.
Alrighty then.
Okay, so oh, cool. You know what that does? What? 2 new categories gives us exactly 50.
Yes, I knew it. Perfect.
All right, it was pick an actor, and what was the other one?
Pick an actor in 2020's movies.
Oh, So, son, I kind of already have that. We have a whole new movie at, I guess 2020's works, because that new movie is meant to be, like, within the last year.
We just talked about this!
Whatever.
Were you?
All right. Hey,
I don't think you were listening.
Hey, Siri. Hey, Siri. Pick a number from 1 to 50.
It's 7.
It says 7.
Okay.
Which animated.
Animated. Oh.
Animated. We watch a cartoon. But not a Disney cartoon.
Well, obviously. But I've got one. I know what we will be watching. I think.
Shouldn't be hard finding a good animated movie to watch.
Yeah, I've got a few. But it depends. Like, do we want 2-dimensional or 3, or like it could be 2D or 3D?
As long as it's animated.
All right.
I think I do have a 3D one, but I'd say all animation works.
Which should mean, I've got one. I've got one you probably won't like, but I know you haven't seen.
And what's that?
I can't tell you yet. It'll spoil the surprise.
Play the pluggables.
Okay, I am Cryo Artist. I also have a gaming channel now, which I've only uploaded 2 videos on. I am also Snowshine Gaming on YouTube. But I'm Cryo Artist on YouTube, on Facebook, on Instagram, and on TikTok. I haven't really uploaded anything on Twitter. I might not upload anything on Twitter because Twitter is weird. But that's me. That's who I am.
You can find me on Dragon Blazer Productions on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. You can also find me on Dragon Blazer Productions or Dragon Blazer Pro on the Twitter.
You also have a gaming channel now.
And I also have a gaming channel called Dragon Blazer Gaming. Woohoo!
Woo!
I put up a Fortnite video of me playing Fortnite and it got no views.
Yeah, it has absolutely no views.
0 views. Not even Saber has seen it. And now he's doing evil laughs. I can't believe we took... this is one of our longer episodes, and it was on Great Expectations. I don't know how I feel about that.
What, 50 minutes? It's not one of our longer episodes. We've had episodes into, like, the hour-long points.
Well, yeah, we had the one, and that was when we had your friend on.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Auf Wiedersehen.
Peace.
Oh, once again, please, if you will, like and subscribe onto our YouTube page titled Coming Soon to a Podcast Near You, where all these wacky podcasts where we watch movies and review them go on. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Peace.